Welcome to another presentation of the Solid Sports video blog. This is episode 157. Today's date is December 10th, 2020. Thank you for joining me this morning right here on the Solid Sports Gaming channel. I'm Troy West with another edition of the Solid Sports video blog. This is a Thursday night edition. It's kind of rare now. We haven't had one in a while, either because I have internet or it wasn't even a Thursday game. But we do have a Thursday game tonight, a big game that spreads across the NFL. The New England Patriots will go for the second week in a row in LA. This time they will face the Los Angeles Rams. Rams come in leaders of the NFC West at 8-4, owning a tiebreaker against the Seattle Seahawks. We're going to look at the playoff picture as well before we get off here today. And the Patriots in a dogfight in the AFC for a wild card spot, as they are currently third in the AFC East, so some familiar territory for that franchise. So we're going to talk about both teams today, and look at where I got some power rankings for y'all guys for week 14. I just did power rankings 30 because I was off for a while, but we have some power rankings as well to do. So and like I said, we're looking to both of these teams deeply, and the playoff picture as well, the NFC and in the AFC. Cyberpunk, what a game that is. I'm so excited. I'm gonna do another video this afternoon sometime. I have a little bit of time off this afternoon, so I'm gonna do another video. Very deep, very interesting game, so we're gonna get more into that, and just check out all the rest of my projects right here on the channel. But let's go ahead and get into these two teams. Patriots versus the Rams. Patriots, of course, was in Los Angeles last week as they defeated the LA Chargers, dominated them 45-0. But it was sort of, the score the score tells the story always. But the New England offense still didn't really do a lot. It was special teams, defensive touchdowns. I think they had one or two of those, and I think they had a kickoff return as well. So got a lot of points from other areas. The offense still was average. Cam Newton only had, I think, 69 yards passing in that game. So dominated the game in all three phases, but it was mainly the defense and the special teams that won it for New England last week. Going against a young Justin Herbert, which Bill Belichick usually do well against younger quarterbacks, and it showed last week as well. They playoff hopes. I'm trying to wait for my phone to load so I can look at the standings, but I think New England is, I want to believe they're 8th in the conference right now. So to me, I think they have to win out. I personally don't think they're going to make it unless a lot of crazy things happen, because I think Cleveland winning, I think that pretty much pushed them in. You got the Baltimore Ravens that could make a push because their schedule is easier. Miami is in front of them by 2 games as well. So but I think they probably play Miami though head to head again before the season's over. But I just think it's too many obstacles. They definitely have to win out for sure, and probably still fall short. But everything's loaded now, so we can see exactly where they are. Well, till then, Cam Newton. Been a lot of talk about, well, the Patriots period. Cam Newton, being compared to Tom Brady. Of course, Brady was there 20 years, 6 Super Bowls. So you can understand the comparisons. But Cam, I mean, he had his moments this year. Especially early in the year, especially throwing the ball. The game in Seattle that they almost won. They've been in a lot of close games. Like, they record could easily be 8-3, 9-3, or 7-4, and be really in the thick of the playoff fight. But a couple of tough losses. So they stand now at, they actually 10th in the conference. I forgot about the Las Vegas Raiders and the Indianapolis Colts. So it's just so many teams to overcome. And then you're down, right now you're down 2 games, as Indianapolis is 8-4, Miami's 8-4 as well. So I just think it's too many teams like I said, they would have to win out, and then hopefully one of these teams follow their face. Vegas haven't looked good the last few weeks. Like I said, I like the Ravens because of their schedule. But this AFC right now could hold form. We're going to talk more about it after we do the power records. But basically what I'm saying about the Patriots playoff hopes, they pretty much slim to none to me. Just as they got too many obstacles and too many days got to break their way. But they definitely have to win out. I don't think they can afford to lose any more games. So this is, to me, this is a big game for them tonight. They lose this game, I think that pretty much all but eliminates them from the playoffs. But Cam, like I said, I think Cam had a decent year. He had COVID, so he was out a week. Ever since then, to be honest, he haven't looked well. It's like they ain't let him throw the ball as much. So I don't know if that's the reason why. He hasn't played bad, terrible, but he hasn't played great. Like, you look at his numbers, they're pretty much pedestrian. Not a lot of touchdowns, but he got a lot of touchdowns. I think he got over 10 touchdowns on the ground. So he's been more of a read option, having thrown the ball a lot since the beginning of the season. But he's definitely capable. I think they need to let him throw the ball a little bit more. And really, of course, not a lot of weapons at receiver or tight end, so maybe that's part of it. I think Sony Michel been out pretty much most of the year as well, so there's not a lot of help on offense, so Cam got to do a lot, but I think they need to throw the ball more. But I don't know, like they said, can he get a contract next year, because he's only here for one season, and I don't think New England's going to keep him. Even if he had a good year, I think New England probably will move on from him, but I don't know if another team will give him a shot, at least not as a starter. So unless Cam turns it on and maybe only makes the playoffs, I'm not sure what his future holds, not just here in New England, but around the NFL period. I want to talk a little bit about Bill Belichick as well. Another link to Brady. Supposedly this is 2 years coming anyway that Brady was going to leave, or he was trying to get rid of Brady. If you go back to the Jimmy Garoppolo situation, reports was he wanted to keep Jimmy and let Tom go, but they wound up trading Jimmy Garoppolo to San Francisco. And then Belichick got a decent record anytime Brady was out, either for injury or for Deflategate when he was out the 4 games. I think they went 3-1. He went 3-1 with Jacoby Brissett and Garoppolo. So I guess the debate this week has been who's won so far, who's doing better, Brady or Belichick. Brady got the better record, but just by 1 game. Tampa having their issues this year. New England have their issues as well. To me, it's a wash right now. Like, to me, it's a tie. And I think Tom will probably win for the rest of this season. I think Tampa might make the playoffs. Like I said, I don't think the Phillies are going to. But I think Tom right now is winning just slightly if you were to pick a winner. But I would say it's a tie. I don't think either team is doing as well as they thought they was going to do. Tampa, of course, they struggle on offense. Tom supposedly, still get used to the offense there at Tampa. But I think it's a tie right now. But I think both men want to prove, sort of set your own legacy. I mean, they both still, Tom Brady is considered the all-time greatest quarterback, and Bill Belichick is considered almost all-time greatest coach. But I think they can improve their legacy if one happened to win without the other. So I think both guys would have tried. And then, like I said, Brady still wants to play. So, and Tom's 43, so we don't know how long he got left. Bill Belichick is up there at 2 age. I think he's getting close to 70. So there are rumbles that he might step down and retire. So I say by next year or 2 years, they both might be out of the league because of retirement. But right now, if you had to pick a winner, I would say it's a tie, even though Tampa, I guess if you go by the record, is slightly ahead. I think Tampa's going to make the playoffs, but that's future tense. Tampa got a tough game this week against Minnesota, so they're going to get interested down there as well. All right, let's talk about the LA Rams. The LA Rams, to me, it's been some small stuff, not a major surprise, but a surprise to me. I thought they'd be middle of the road, maybe 500, you know, maybe scratching at a playoff berth. But I have to say they might win this division. The way Seattle's looking right now, not clicking right now. Russell Wilson struggling a little bit. You don't believe in Russ. I think he's gonna be fine. But Rams, I think they already beat Seattle this season. I mean, that's why they got the tiebreaker. I think they play again. If they win that game, I think they win the division. But they defeated the Arizona Cardinals, who stay free falling. Like I said, we're going to look at the playoff picture in both conferences. But the Rams just won their division games. They beat teams they were supposed to beat, even though they had the AFC East, the NFC East this year. So I wasn't sold on them even then when they were 6 when they were doing well. But they had, like I said, they beat Seattle. The loss to San Francisco was a little bit surprising, but as I say with the experts say, San Francisco matched up kind of well with them. But got to give the Rams credit. I didn't think they would be far along this year. And like I said, they lead in the division with the tiebreaker over Seattle. So I think Arizona, the division is out for them. They might still make the playoffs, even though they're outside looking in right now. But I don't think they're gonna. I think the division is gone. They've been struggling. But I think the Rams definitely got a chance to win this division. But if they don't, they're definitely going to be one of these wild card teams for sure. Right now, they're third overall though in the NFC. Green Bay and New Orleans leading that. Jared Goff. I've been real critical of Jared Goff ever since the Super Bowl against this team, the Patriots. So this brings back memories for him. Ever since that Super Bowl, I haven't liked. I lost kind of faith in him to be somebody that can win that can win the big game. Even though he's got that, but he's played well. He's played well this year, quietly. I think he's more of a system quarterback, though. I think he needs offensive mind and a good team around him. Just to see, I don't think he's a guy that can. Not saying he can't read defenses and things of that nature, but I don't think he's a guy that can make nobody better around him. That's just my personal opinion. Like I said, that Super Bowl I was real critical of him because supposedly New England would show him on formation, and then quarterbacks, Sean McVay. That's why Sean McVay probably still get a lot of credit. After 15 seconds left on the play clock, the audio go off. So basically you're on your own. The coach can't talk to you in your ear. Then New England will change their formation, and he was just lost the whole game. Like only putting up 3 points. What they did offensively 2 years ago was not that they set records, and they only get 3 points in the game, even though they only scored 13. But to me, and I heard that I was low on him. He hasn't really been that great since last year. He had a sort of a fluky year. Played decently, but not great. This year he's come back a little bit. But I guess prove me wrong, prove anybody. I mean, I'm not the only one that feel like this, but I'm not. There's not a lot of people that. I mean, you don't hear a lot of criticism of Goff. Unless he messes up, like the San Francisco game. Speaking of that, like he have a game like that where he fumbles or turn the ball over, but then he'll light you up as well when he's on. So we'll see what he can do. This will be a big game for him, I think. With Belichick still over there, even though it's not the same teams from Super Bowl 2 years ago, but Belichick still. I know he watched a lot of that tape, what they did in that game, and they're gonna probably try to throw at least some of that at him again. So I think this game, like I said, I think it's gonna be a close game. I wrote a score. I explain that when I get to it. It might be closer than that because I don't see New England scoring a lot of points either. But Rams are 5-point favorite. I think that's probably right about right. I would probably go lower, but 5 seems like a decent number. So with all that being said, how far can the Rams go? But with their defense, with Jalen Ramsey, he's quietly having a defensive MVP year. Aaron Donald doing his thing again, leading the league in sacks. Like those two guys with the other talent around the Rams, the defense definitely would be the reason why they go anywhere. Goff, just don't mess it up. The Rams running game is surprisingly good this year as well. Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods. So they got talent on the offensive side, but I think it's going to be the defense that carries them. Now, as we look at the NFC, we're going to look, like I said, we're going to get into the playoff picture, but Green Bay, can they beat Green Bay? Maybe. Maybe, if they can slow Aaron Rodgers down. That's Green Bay. The Green Bay defense is not that great. I think I could put them against Green Bay. Now, New Orleans, the way New Orleans playing, once they get Drew Brees back. Now, Drew Brees is more somebody, you might think, okay, well, he's stationary, you can get to him, but Brees get the ball out of his hands. Michael Thomas back, that's huge. Him and Ramsey will be an interesting matchup. But I think the Rams can match up with any of these teams. Of course, they already beat Seattle, and they ain't afraid of nobody in their division. The Giants right now will be the team of the NFC East. They playing well right now. Them and the Washington football team. Of course, both teams had big wins. Giants going to Seattle and winning, and Washington beating Pittsburgh the other Monday, I think it was. So yeah, so those two teams can, with their defensives anyway, but they offensively, you don't know what you're going to get from them too. But the stay on this game, I think the final score, I put Rams 23-13, but I think it might be closer than that. I think 10 points is big. I just don't see New England scoring more than 13 though. I don't see them scoring nowhere near 20. But the Rams, like I said, if Belichick can get the Goff and make him make mistakes, this game can be closer to that. But I think the Rams just a little bit better. I think New England, they're gonna shut that that offense down. I don't see them scoring more than between 13 and 16 points. I think the Rams could get to at least 20, and that's how I see it going down. So I think the Rams will win this game tonight, and pretty much in New England playoff hopes, and improve their division title hopes in the NFC West. I think the Rams win it. I got it 23-13, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was a little bit closer than that. Okay. Let's move on to the power rankings real quick. Power rankings was, there's been some changes. Pittsburgh lost their first game of the season. So, we'll see where they fall here on my power rankings. And then the fifth spot is always the hardest because there's so many good teams you could put in the fifth spot. But I think I feel good about who I put fifth. Alright, so let's start at 5. Let's go from 5 to 1. At number 5, wasn't ranked. I think this is the first time they've been in my top 5 all season. I don't think they ever was in it. They might have. Maybe I should go back and look, but I don't have the time, so I'm gonna just assume they wasn't. Well, they haven't been in it a lot. The Buffalo Bills. I got them number 5. I was going between them and Cleveland, or I was going to just go ahead and tie them at 5. I was like, I hate doing ties because it's like, go ahead and pick somebody, And I think I decided on Buffalo because of their strength of schedule. Their schedule was a little bit tougher than Cleveland. Big win against the Titans, and that's why I was so conflicted. Like, they just had to coming off a big win. Bills, that was a big win against the 49ers. However, the 49ers, let's be real, they had a lot of injuries. So I was going to get Cleveland the edge there just out of just this week. But I decided to just look at the whole schedule. Cleveland, that was really their first big win of the season. And now people started to take them a little bit seriously. Buffalo, they was a playoff team last year. So I gave them the nod at number 5. But Cleveland was very highly considered. Cleveland Browns fan, any Browns fans watching, I understand you might be upset, but that's why I broke it down. So I gave the Bills a slight edge. But both of y'all got big games this week. Buffalo, they play Sunday night against Pittsburgh. That's a huge game. And Cleveland got Baltimore on Monday night, so chance for them to show out who they really are. And as a Ravens fan, I go, I'm nervous about that game. I don't know if they play like they play. They run the ball with Chubb, and play action like they did against Tennessee, I think they could do some things against the Ravens this week. The Ravens defense is way better than the Titans in my opinion. But two interesting games. So Cleveland can earn their way up, maybe all the way up to at least 4-3 or 4. For the top 3, I think it's going to stay at least probably for the rest of the season. Well, let's go to number 4, the Green Bay Packers. Packers, they had their ups and downs, this year, sort of. But they still rolling along. Aaron Rodgers having an MVP year. I think once, the Green Bay offense with Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones, it's just the defense, which is a liability. Hopefully they can sort that up and get it at least decent, get it to a respectable. If they can, like I said, they definitely capable of going a long way because of Aaron Rodgers. So I got the Packers at number 4. They was number 4 last week as well, so they stayed put. Number 3, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I dropped them all the way to 3rd. Just haven't looked good for a while. I called it. I did predict Washington to beat them Monday. But a lot of people did. Like I said, that's why I was thinking, well, that was not going to happen because everybody's saying it. But Washington still was able to beat them. Haven't looked sharp in the last, say, month or so. So on that merit, I dropped them all the way to 3 instead of just dropping them to 2. Still 11-1. Like I said, I kind of keep it really. I couldn't drop them no lower than that. Even though Green Bay might be playing a little bit better than them right now as well. But 11-1 is 11-1. So they stay in the top 3. They fall from 1 to 3. Moving up to number 2, that was there last week, is the New Orleans Saints. The Saints, even with Taysom Hill, I heard some people saying, well, it depends on how what your views are. This is definitely not the best Saints team. I think it's better with Drew Brees for sure. But Taysom Hill has done what he was supposed to do. Doing a lot of read option, not throwing the ball. He threw the ball a lot more against Atlanta. Fairly had 2 touchdown passes. So but the defense is playing outstanding. Probably better than anybody else in the league right now. And the Saints, like I said, I've been on the Saints the last couple of years. Been picking them to go to the Super Bowl. I didn't pick them this year purposely because it's like I keep picking them today, and they ain't making it, or they're going to playoffs and have a huge loss. So hopefully this year, because I ain't pick them, maybe they will make it this time. But we'll see. Drew Brees, they said he's on track to come back this week, I believe. I saw that somewhere. He's progressing well with the broken ribs. So Saints will be back to full strength. Michael Thomas, he's unbelievable. Him and DeAndre Hopkins to be on 1 and 2 because the consistency with the quarterback, like Michael Thomas, or just because what he does, he pretty much always will be throwing the ball between anybody. He's going to get it. DeAndre Hopkins with all the different quarterbacks he's played with, and still to put up the numbers he put up. So those 2 is clearly number 2. I probably would put Julio number 3, maybe Devontae number 4 right now. Well, that's a conversation for another day. But the Saints look pretty good. They look like a Super Bowl contender in the NFC. They're definitely playing better than anybody in the NFC, and they deserve to be number 1 right now in the NFC. And they number 2 on my power rankings. And number 1, the Chiefs fight their way back up to number 1. Now the Chiefs, some of their games were close, a little close to comfort, a little close, not blowing nobody out. But Patrick Mahomes still doing his thing. He only got 1 interception on the year. And the Chiefs, just like the Packers defense. Now the Chiefs, straightforward defense, they can get pressure sometimes. And then you got Tyrann Mathieu flying around back there. He makes plays, which he did against Denver Sunday night. But the Chiefs defense got us slow. And like I said, the offense not perfect. But Pat still doing his thing. So and they're the defending champions. So factor all that in, they're number 1. Excuse me. So let's recap. Number 5, the Buffalo Bills. Number 4, the Green Bay Packers. Number 3, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Number 2, the New Orleans Saints. And number 1, the Kansas City Chiefs. And that are my power rankings for going into week 14. Alright, so let's take a quick look at the playoff picture as promised that I was. Let's go back up to the AFC. Alright, so right now, of course, this year is 7 teams, which could expand if, like I said, the NFL wind up canceling any games. They will expand it to 8, but I think they're going to make it through without having to really cancel those games, because the Ravens outbreak of COVID was probably the worst it's going to get. The Titans had a bad one as well, so but there's no flexibility left, no bye weeks left. But see, they just push us the game. You know, as long as you get it in before that next Thursday, say if you're scheduled to play Sunday, as long as you get it in before that next Thursday, I think you're pretty good. You know, you can flex games as much as you can. So so let's look at the AFC. Excuse me on that. Like I said, we got Pittsburgh number 1 at 11-1. They own the tiebreaker against Kansas City due to conference record. They undefeated in the conference. But Kansas City has clinched the playoff spot already. So now it's only 6 spots left in the AFC. Which I understand that if they got the same record, how Kansas City clinches and Pittsburgh don't. But I don't feel like doing the math on that. But anyway, Pittsburgh's 1, Kansas City's 2, Buffalo's 3 at 9-3. 4th is Tennessee at 8-4, leading the South. And then we get to the wild cards. Cleveland at 9-3. I think Cleveland's going to get in. Miami at 8-4. Don't know what their schedule's left, but Miami's defense is playing pretty well. They went back to Tua, which I was I wasn't surprised about it, but I thought. But he was hurt. That was supposedly the reason why he didn't play last week. Indianapolis, I like the Colts. You know, the Colts bring some things to the table. Like, they always like to fill the rivers, but it's just something missing about them. I don't know. Like, the defense is pretty good on paper. Well, not on paper, but like by stats wise, they're in the top 5. I think the offense is a little inconsistent though. We'll feel it. Now the Colts is one of the teams I think, you know, could get in, could not. Vegas, the way they looked the last couple of weeks, they should have lost to the Jets, which would have been a devastating loss, but they wound up getting a win. They still alive. And Baltimore at 7-5, they both 7-5, 8-9, and then New England. That's why this is a big game tonight. 6-6. If they lose to get to 7 losses, I think it's going to take at least 10 wins minimum to get in. So that's why I think New England will have to win out to have even a chance, and they might still fall short if they even went out. So I think the playoffs hopes are slim. Like I said, everybody else is pretty much out of it. Officially, I said the Clippers. Let's say LAC, so it's usually LA Clippers, LA Chargers, Bengals at 2-9, Jacksonville 1-11, and 0-12 Jets. They all officially eliminated. Houston and Denver, again, will have to win out. And then everybody else will probably have to lose out. So they pretty much eliminated. Houston that lost last week, they took them down. And Denver never was really involved anyway. But they stand here 4-8. Alright, NFC is New Orleans at number 1 at 10-2. They clinched the playoff spot, so which means it's only 6 spots left. Green Bay number 2 at 9-3. Rams 8-4 with the West leaders at 3. Giants at 4 at 5-7 because of they lead the division, not because of their record. So they get the automatic 4th spot in the home game. Now that's going to be an interesting race. Them and Washington. I think Dallas is done with that loss to the Ravens Tuesday night. And the way Philly looked, I just don't see that improvement. They're going to Jalen Hurts against New Orleans. I think they're going to lose this week again. So I think it's going to come down to the Giants and Washington in that division for the East. Number 5, Seattle at 8-4. Number 6, Tampa at 7-5. Then the 7th spot by a tiebreaker, Minnesota at 6-6. Arizona also 6-6, but they're outside looking in. Bears and Lions at 5-7. Bears, Lions, Niners, and Washington. That's just for sake of argument. You know, one of those NFC East teams don't get in, but I think San Francisco, Detroit. Well, Detroit. I mean, I don't know what their schedule is. I think Chicago's done. They just done all the way around. Detroit still got to fight in them the way they play. Niners, they like the injuries, so even at 5-7, I don't know. Maybe like I said, maybe it is realistic that Washington could climb up and make it. But all the teams, no team are officially eliminated. Atlanta at 4-8, Carolina 4-8, but I don't think they're gonna make a push. Like I just talked about Dallas and Philadelphia. I think Dallas was done with that loss, and I think Philadelphia about to lose this week. So they have 9 losses, even with the tie won't help them. So I think the NFC, as far as the wild cards, cause I think the division I said New Orleans, Green Bay. Now Rams and Seattle, one of them teams are definitely going to get in, and then maybe both really for one of the wild card and division. Like I said, the East with Washington and the Giants. But if we go like Tampa, like I said, I don't know the schedules of these teams, but I don't know. It might stand. Like I think Arizona, free falling. I don't know. They might fall all the way out. I like the way Minnesota's playing overall. They're still a little shaky with Kirk Cousins, but Dalvin Cook can carry them into the playoffs. So this is going to be interesting the next couple of weeks. How the bottom of the NFC, I think that New Orleans and Green Bay, I think they set. Well, New Orleans already set officially, but they going to win their division. They're going to be top 2. Like I said, Rams can fall to 5 or 6 or something, and Seattle could be the division leader. But those 2 teams, I think, are going to get in. Like I said, I don't know with the schedule. I think the Giants' schedule is a little bit easier than Washington's, but I don't know. I just like watching the quarterback play a little bit better with Alex Smith. He's not setting the world on fire, but he's still better than even when Daniel Jones might play this week. I think that honestly, I probably would stick with McCoy if I wanted to win. Daniel Jones turned the ball over too much. I think he's got a higher ceiling, but I think he turns the ball over too much. He will have to rein it in. But that's going to be an interesting race. Like I said, the whole NFC going to be interesting. The AFC, to me, like I said, I think it's like I said, the bottom half. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. The playoff picture is going to be interesting. It's going to change week to week. Like I said, Saturday we'll get more into it as well as we look at the schedules and stuff like that. And I start trying to predict who's going to get in and who's not. So that's the latest playoff picture in the NFL. So that will do it for me for right now. I will be back Saturday. We'll do our Week 14 picks in the NFL. We got NBA news. The James Harden situation is getting more interesting. Will he be traded before Saturday? We'll see. I don't think so. A lot of people think it's going to go into the season. But a lot more news came out about that. If there's any new baseball news, I'll touch on it. We'll probably talk college football again, like I did last week. I don't think I'm going to go live this Saturday. I'll probably do it, record like I'm doing here now. Probably do it that way and just put it up. Try to get it up before noon Saturday. And like I said, my other project, Cyberpunk 2077, I started it. I'm going to do another video in a few hours, so keep an eye out for it. Video number 1 is up right now, and I'm putting together a playlist for that. Cuphead, I'm going to try to do something on that soon. Haven't done a video on that in a while. Crash Bandicoot 4, still playing with. And also Spider-Man, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. Also will be more videos of that coming up. Alright, so make sure you join me Saturday for episode 158. A lot of NBA news and more NFL news. So join me then. Enjoy all the rest of the cartoon on the channel. I got the Rams winning tonight. I wrote down 23-13, but I think it will be a little closer than that. I think it's going to be a defensive battle. So it'll come down to who don't make mistakes. Patriots capable of winning this game. They need it if they want to stay alive in the playoffs. If they lose this game, I think they pretty much done as far as the playoff positioning. Rams can still probably get a wild card if they wind up losing this game. Seattle can take back the NFC West. And we'll talk about all that on Saturday. And we'll review this game and look ahead to Week 14. Troy West said, thank you so much for joining me this morning. Thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you to all my support people. My brother Don Juan for his support. Like I said, it's been rough for everybody this year. It's been rough for me the last few weeks. This was some personal things, so I appreciate the support. And I'll see you guys Saturday. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your week. Stay warm, even though it's supposed to warm up in a few days here in Maryland where I am. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll see you this weekend on Saturday.